You know that sinking feeling when it's the third week of September and you discover your colleague down the hall has been teaching something completely differently than you have? Students are confused, caregivers are asking questions, and you're both scrambling to get on the same page. This scenario plays out in schools everywhere. Teachers working in isolation, discovering mid semester that they're teaching the same concepts in conflicting ways. But here's the counterintuitive truth. The best time to align your teaching approaches isn't during the busy school year when you're exhausted and overwhelmed. It's during summer when you can actually think clearly about big picture planning. What if I told you that spending just a few hours collaborating with your grade level or department colleagues during summer break could save you dozens of hours during the school year? That it could transform your September from chaotic scrambling into smooth sailing? The solution is surprisingly simple. Proactive summer planning sessions where you align on standards, pacing, vocabulary, expectations, and shared resources before September arrives. Think of it like building a safety net that catches you before you fall. Summer collaboration creates the foundation that prevents September chaos and transforms isolated teaching into a supportive team effort. When you do this right, three powerful things happen. First, your students experience consistency across classrooms instead of confusion from conflicting approaches. Second, you'll cut your individual planning time in half by contributing to and drawing from a shared resource pool. And third, you'll have a support network where colleagues can troubleshoot problems and celebrate successes together. Summer collaboration isn't just about preventing problems, it's about creating the supportive, consistent learning environment that helps both you and your students thrive all year long. Let's dive in. This is Schoolutions Teaching Strategies, the podcast that extends education beyond the classroom. A show that isn't just theory, but practical, try it tomorrow approaches for educators and caregivers to ensure every student finds their spark and receives the support they need to thrive. Welcome to Schoolutions Teaching Strategies Summer Series. This is the podcast that helps educators build stronger connections and create better learning experiences. I'm your host, Olivia Wall, and today we are talking about one of the most valuable investments you can make this summer, connecting with your grade level or department colleagues to align expectations and share resources before September rolls around. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's summer, I need a break. And you absolutely do. But here's the thing. Spending just a few hours this summer collaborating with your colleagues can save you dozens of hours during the school year and make your September launch infinitely smoother. Let's start with why this matters. Picture this. It's the third week of September, and you discover that your colleague down the hall has been teaching fractions completely differently than you have. Your students are confused when they switch classes. Parents are asking why their child's getting conflicting information, and you're both scrambling to get on the same page. Sound familiar? This scenario plays out in schools everywhere, and it's completely preventable with some summer planning. When you align with colleagues during the summer, you're creating consistency for your students. Research shows that students perform better when they experience consistent expectations, vocabulary, and approaches across their classes. You're also creating support for yourself. Imagine having a team of colleagues who understand exactly what you're trying to accomplish and can offer resources, troubleshoot problems, and celebrate successes with you. Plus, let's be honest, it's way easier having these conversations when you're not exhausted from a full day of teaching and can actually think clearly about big picture planning. So, how do you get started? First, identify your key collaborators. These might be teachers in your same grade level, department colleagues who will teach the same subject, teachers whose students you'll share throughout the day, anyone whose classroom your students will rotate through. The initial reach out doesn't have to be formal. A simple email or text saying, "Hey, I'm doing some summer planning and would love to sync up with you about your approach to whatever you want to meet around this year. Are you free for coffee or a quick video call?" That could work perfectly. And if you're feeling ambitious, suggest forming a small summer planning group. You might say, "I'm thinking of getting together with a few of us to align expectations and share resources for next year. Would you be interested in meeting once or twice this summer?" Here's a pro tip: offer to host the first meeting and come prepared with a simple agenda. People are much more likely to say yes when the logistics are taken care of, and having structure shows you respect everyone's time. Now, what should you actually talk about in these meetings? Here are the essential areas to align on. First, learning standards and pacing. You don't need identical lesson plans, but you should agree on which standards you'll cover and when. This prevents gaps and redundancies. Create a simple shared calendar showing when you'll introduce major concepts. Second, classroom expectations and procedures. Align on things like homework policies, late work policies, and behavior expectations. If students know that all their fourth grade teachers have the same policy on homework, for example, there's less testing of boundaries and more focus on learning. Third, assessment approaches. You don't need identical tests, but agreeing on things like how often you'll assess, what format your assessments typically take, and how often you'll communicate progress to caregivers creates consistency for families. Fourth, key vocabulary and instructional language. This is huge. If you're all teaching addition with regrouping, make sure you're all calling it the same thing. Create a shared vocabulary list for major concepts. And finally, resources and materials. This is where the magic happens. Share your best lesson plans, successful activities, useful websites, and effective caregiver communication templates. One teacher's breakthrough lesson can become everyone's go-to resource. Let's talk about practical tools to make this collaboration sustainable. Google Drive or Microsoft Teams are perfect for creating shared folders where you can all contribute resources. Set up folders for lesson plans, assessments, caregiver communication templates, and fun activities. Shared planning documents work well for pacing guides and curriculum maps. Use a simple Google Sheet where everyone can see what's going to be taught when, and add their own timing notes. Communication channels are crucial, whether it's a group text, Slack channel, or regular email thread. Establish how you'll check in with each other during the year. Some teams do a quick weekly email check-in. Others prefer monthly coffee meetings. Resource tagging systems can help you find things later. When you share a lesson plan, add tags like grade 3 or multiplication or nonfiction writing so colleagues can easily find relevant materials. One successful teacher team I know created what they called the Vault, a shared drive with their best resources organized by month and subject. By the end of their first collaborative year, they had cut their individual planning time in half because they were contributing to and drawing from this shared resource pool. And here's the key to making summer collaboration pay off all year long. Build in regular check-ins. Schedule monthly 30-minute meetings, even if it's just a quick coffee before school or a video call on Sunday evening. Use these check-ins to share what's working, troubleshoot challenges, and adjust your plans as needed. Maybe you'll all discover that your students need more time on fractions than you planned, or that a particular reading strategy is working so well you want to expand it. Don't forget to celebrate successes together. When your aligned approach leads to better student outcomes, acknowledge it. This positive reinforcement will motivate you to continue collaborating. Remember, the goal isn't to create identical classrooms or lose your teaching personality. We need to be responsive to every student's needs. This is to create a cohesive, supportive learning environment where students experience consistency and teachers have a strong support network. Your summer collaboration investment will pay dividends in student success and your own sanity. And the overall culture of your school. So reach out to those colleagues, schedule that coffee meeting, and start building the foundation for your best year yet. Thank you for tuning in to Schoolutions Teaching Strategies Summer Series. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a colleague who might benefit from summer collaboration. Until next time, keep teaching together and take care. Schoolutions Teaching Strategies is created, produced, and edited by me, Olivia Wall. Thank you to my older son, Benjamin, who created the music playing in the background. You can follow and listen to Schoolutions wherever you get your podcasts, or subscribe to never miss an episode and watch on YouTube. Now I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email at schoolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Let me know how you plan to connect with your colleagues this summer. Give me your best tips and strategies. Tune in every Monday and Friday this summer for mini episodes filled with tips and ideas that will help you prepare for September while still resting and rejuvenating this summer. See you soon for another tip. And until then, enjoy the sunshine and take care.